This video is not sponsored by Switzerland. How's it going, everyone? This is Griffdawg here, and let's get right into it. Let's jump right into the comments. So the first comment reads, Felix Eeyore commented, "Are you okay with a driver having number 69? Winky face question. Is that supposed to be a joke or something like that? Are you implying something? Is there something going on? I get the joke. Honest answer, yes. Because in my eye, a number is a number is a number, no matter what jokes are added onto it. So, yes. Ha 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 ha. There, you made me laugh. Jared Fournier then commented, "Keep up the good work, man. Love your channel." Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. And it's people like you that keep me going with my YouTube channel. Mountain Dew Cup Series commented, "Hey Griff, if you were going to race a car in NASCAR, what number would you be and what sponsors would you want to have?" You know, I've actually done this a few times, actually. I guess just a little backstory goes to my decisions. First of all, the number I would choose is 88. Yeah, Dale Jr. has a part of it, but there's another reason too. I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but in high school, I played football, and my number, 88. I was a wide receiver. I ran, I caught the ball, I scored the touchdown, stuff like that. The color scheme for my team was blue, and in my opinion, that was a really cool combo. And so another little nugget was back in the day, I was a part of another series. It was called like RROL or something like that. It was on a forum way back in the day. But the point is, I did have a blue car, and it was sponsored by Nabisco. So Oreo, Ritz, Nilla, all those fun cookies. So if I were to have a number and sponsor, it would be 88 and it would be Oreo, Ritz, kind of a combo. And so one of my favorite paint schemes that Matt Kenseth ever drove was in the 2008 Nationwide Series race at Daytona. He drove a Ritz car that had that mix of red and blue with the yellow number. So I haven't painted the car yet. I'll do it sometime soon, but it would be number 88 and the font would probably be Dale Jr.'s old font number, and so I would use that. And then I would have a mix of Ritz and Oreo be my sponsors. Amazing Tabasso 1 commented, "Hey Griff, do you think the number 3 car will return to victory lane? For example, maybe the Daytona 500 or maybe another race?" So I can, but it isn't necessarily who drives it. It's the performance of the team. Because right now, Richard Childress Racing is not necessarily in the best of places right now. Hopefully they'll improve as the season rolls along. I can see Austin Dillon win the Daytona 500 for sure, but it'll be a little bit before Austin Dillon wins the Daytona 500. I have full support of Austin Dillon. I mean, come on. He's the first ever person to dab. I mean, come on. What's cooler than dabbing, right? No, I'm not going to dab right now. So again, I have full support of Austin Dillon. I hope he does well, and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully the 3 car can go and win for the first time in, what, 17 years? We'll see. Jack Lawton commented, "Hey Griff, if you had to add any North American track to the NASCAR calendar, used before or not, which one would it be?" I don't know if this is surprising to you, but this is actually an easy answer. It's this track right here. Pikes Peak International Raceway. I don't know if you guys know about this track, but it's a 1-mile track that takes place in Fountain, Colorado. 1 mile, and it's kind of like Iowa, if you want to put a comparison. It's a bigger Iowa. The Busch Series raced there from 1998 to 2005, and then for whatever reason, the track closed down. And I was the only track that the NASCAR guys went to in Colorado. I used to live in Colorado. And so from 1999 through 2002, I would go to the Busch race every single year. And so I saw the likes of Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, and Jimmy Johnson, all before they became big stars that they are today. I am very disappointed that they stopped racing at Pikes Peak, but I guess the other thing you gotta consider was there were not a lot of cautions during any of those races. Probably the most exciting thing was Dale Jr. wrecking in turn number 2 in the 1999 race at Pikes Peak. And yes, I was a young kid when that happened, but I still remember that, and I remember the thrill and the action of being there. So yes, I would do anything in my power to revive Pikes Peak, and even if NASCAR doesn't go there, like if ARCA or USAC or something goes back to Pikes Peak, it would be fantastic. Alright, so let's dive into the news portions of this video. So the first thing I want to talk about is, this is Michael Waltrip's final Daytona 500 race. Aaron's is going to sponsor the car. The car is, ironically, number 15. This is Michael Waltrip's 30th Daytona 500 start, and then I believe it's Premium Motorsports. It wasn't announced like officially, but I believe it was Premium Motorsports. Because if I remember correctly, Premium Motorsports does have a charter now, and they're going to stick with 15, which is what Clint Boyer drove in 2016. So now, after Mike Waltrip retires, who do we have all gone now? Tony Stewart, Brian Scott, Greg Biffle. Before you guys start yelling at me, I know it's not been announced yet, but the fact that Biffle hasn't announced a ride yet is very concerning. So until I'm proven wrong, Biffle is out. And then we have Casey Mears, Carl Edwards, and now Michael Waltrip. So yeah, I guess it looks like the boycott.
They're coming.
Boycott.
They're coming.
I mean, it's probably not a boycott, but feels like it, right? Then the second thing in news is that the 2017 Drive for Diversity class was finally announced. If you guys don't know, the Drive for Diversity program is a little program to have both females and multicultural people get their run rolling in the NASCAR Premier Series. There are 6 drivers officially announced for this year's class. They are Colin Cabaret, Chase Cabaret, which are brothers, Jay Beasley, Madeline Crave, Ruben Garcia Jr., and Macy Causey. I hope I said everybody's names right. If I don't, I apologize. So these drivers are going to compete for Rev Racing in both the Canon Pro Series E Series and the Whelen All-American Series, which is both NASCAR's lower tier developmental series. And so if it means anything to you guys, Daniel Suarez was a part of the Drive for Diversity program. And where is he now? He's won the Xfinity Series, and now he's a full-time Monster Cup Series driver. So good luck to all these drivers, and hopefully they have the same success that Daniel Suarez had. So the third thing I want to talk about, and a lot of people actually requested this one, is the possibility of Carl Edwards running for Senate. Now, this is all rumors right now. Nothing is official, but there's been rumors and speculation. We do have a comment from Terry Smith, who is a political science professor at the Columbia College in Columbia, Missouri. Terry Smith says, and I quote, "One more unrelated thing, and remember where you heard this first. Carl Edwards, the recently retired NASCAR driver and hometown hero," because you know that Carl is from Columbia, Missouri, "will run against Democrat Claire McCaskill for a Senate seat in 2018. Now, after this quote, Carl Edwards did respond, and he said that he has no immediate plans to go into it, but he didn't rule it out either. So there's that. And so the thing you gotta consider is, he's been a race car driver for more than 10 years now at least. And now he wants to go into the Senate. Now Carl has said he has a good idea of how to make America better. And so I guess I just question, does he know all of his stuff? I mean, sure, I'll vote for him because he's a NASCAR driver. But before you jump on Carl and vote for him, we really need to know what his stances are on everything. It's good to research, because if you just look at it from the outside, we don't know what we're voting for. I'm not going to get too deep into the political stuff, but I just want to throw that out there. So the next thing I want to talk about is Gray Gaulding. Gray Gaulding, little 18-year-old driver, has been nodded to drive the 23 car for the majority of the season. Gray, because he's 18 years old, has not been approved yet to run the Daytona 500, and so it was recently announced Joey Gase will still drive the 23 car in the Daytona 500. No official sponsorship was announced for Gaulding, but it should be expected that Dr. Pepper will continue sponsoring that 23 car. On a side note, Corey LaJoie has been tapped in to drive the 83 car part-time. Corey LaJoie, as you know, is son of two-time Xfinity, then Busch Series champion, Randy LaJoie. So best of luck to Corey, and I really hope he does well, because I love seeing those sons go in and compete. Now sure, equipment is not the same, but if he can drive his brains out, then yeah, then absolutely I will definitely support and see Corey LaJoie race constantly. So the last thing I want to quickly talk about is your favorite Xfinity Series driver of all time, Kyle Busch. If you didn't tell there, I was being sarcastic. So it was recently announced that Kyle Busch has announced his 10 race schedule in the Xfinity Series. If you guys remember, we do have a limitation now for Cup drivers that have more than 5 years of experience in the Cup Series. They can only do 10 races in the Xfinity Series, 7 races in the Truck Series. So the races that Kyle Busch will race in are as follows: Atlanta, Las Vegas, Auto Club Speedway, Michigan, Kentucky, New Hampshire, Indy, Watkins Glen, the night race at Bristol, and then his final race will be the fall Richmond race, which ironically takes place on my birthday this year. So if there's any races you plan to avoid, or you want to do other stuff like camp or go on vacation or something like that, those will probably be the races, because Kyle Busch will probably win. I mean, I'll still watch and I'll let you guys know if Kyle Busch won or not, which I probably bet he will, because I mean, it's Kyle Busch. Wouldn't you expect anything different? Right? All right, so now the special part 3, whatever you want to call it, I want to talk about the future of this channel. Because there's been a lot of questions about when am I going to do this video, when am I going to do that video, stuff like that. And so now that it's the end of January and I've done this Grifftalks show for a month now, surprisingly, I kind of want to talk about what I want to do moving forward with this channel. So first of all, one thing I've kind of noticed and caught is I am pretty much emotionless in my videos. So I want to add a little more emotion, be a little more chippy, more happy, maybe add a little more emphasis to my words. So you'll never see me going like, "Oh, I can't wait for it, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, You'll never see me like that. However, one thing I do want to keep working on is talking faster. So that, now sure, sometimes I want to enunciate my words more, and then there's times like the previous video where I purposely talk slow so that everyone can understand these new format changes. But if there are some other things, like if I can enunciate well, it will be okay to talk faster. So I'm going to keep working on that. One other concern, now no one has asked me this, but I do want to talk about it. When the actual NASCAR season starts, so once the Daytona 500 gets underway, the Grifftalks show is going to change a bit. First of all, I am going to move the show from Mondays to Fridays now. Also, the new Grifftalks show on Friday, I am going to remove the special part, because honestly, it's the special part that takes up the most time. And I think it's because of the special part that makes my videos ridiculously long. So if there is a part where it's like I want to talk about, I will make that its own video, but it will not correlate with the rest of the Grifftalks. And then the other big thing with the Grifftalks show, and again, I want to enunciate and I want to really emphasize on this, this is going to take place once the season starts. So we still got a few more weeks to go. And so again, once it starts, the diecast of the week, I'm actually going to take that off of Grifftalks, and I'm going to make that its own video, and I'm going to make that its own little series. Because I noticed a few people have been really interested in the diecast, and so I want to put a little more of a spotlight on it, and I want to put more emphasis on the diecasts. Because that is one very hidden fact about me, is that I have collected 1/64 diecasts for a long time. In Swagger 42, 1997. That's when I started collecting diecasts. So with that being said, the Grifftalks show then will be replying to comments and then talking about the news. I was honestly thinking about getting rid of the news portion, but a lot of people have gotten interested in hearing me talk about the news. So for now, I'm going to keep that on too. But the point is, the videos will be shorter each week. I promise you that. And so the other reason why I'm making these changes is so that I could focus more on the Inner 2003 videos. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of you have subscribed to my channel because of my what if videos or my Inner 2003 short videos. And so this month I've kind of gotten away from that, and I want to get back into that. So on that note, I want to talk about the 10 winners challenge, where I'm going to go with that, how long am I going to do it, etc, etc. So first of all, I've gotten a lot of requests from different races, and so thank you for that. And because of you guys, you've really helped me shape my schedule on how I'm going to do it. And so first of all, as you guys have seen, the 2016 Hellman's 500 has recently come out. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. I do 10 attempts at the green, white, checkered finish to that race, 10 different winners, 10 different chase outcomes. Now, what I plan to do is, as you guessed it, 10 winners challenges. So I'm only going to do 10, and then that's going to be like season 1. I'll eventually do season 2, maybe later this year or something like that, but I'm only going to do 10. and then I'm going to work on other projects, which I'll talk about later. So in terms of scheduling, just so to help you guys out, we've done 3 so far. Kentucky 2012, which is a fantasy, 2015 Spring Iowa Race Xfinity Series, and now the 2016 Hellman's 500. Next week, I will then try to tackle the Chicagoland race from this year, the one where Martin Truex stole the win away from Chase Elliott. That will be next week. That'll be the Super Bowl weekend. Week after that, it will be the Homestead race. Now, if it's okay with you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the restart where Carl Edwards and Joey Logano crash into each other and have that line up, except have that be the green-white checkered finish. That way we can have a chance of having each of the 4 drivers have a potential to win the championship. And plus, if there's other cars that were in there that would have a potential chance to win, give them a potential spotlight to win as well. And plus, for the sake of, since Carl Edwards departed from NASCAR, I want to give one last nod to him before we move on to 2017. Now, the weekend of the Advanced Auto Parts Clash, during that weekend, I will do the 2011 Daytona 500, and I will do it before David Reagan got the black flag. Now, to keep in mind, I'm also going to just redo that entire one. So if I remember correctly, Ryan Newman and Dale Earnhardt Jr. crashed in that. Both of them are going to still be alive and afloat in this redo. And then for the weekend of the Daytona 500, I'm going to actually have that one be a surprise. This green-white checker did happen more than 5 years ago. That's my only hint for that. I will do that on that weekend. My goal is to maybe have it out on the night before the Daytona 500, but again, things can happen, times can change, and I'll let you guys know on the social media if this stuff changes. And then finally, the last 3 are going to remain a mystery. And that's just simply because I haven't fully decided on which ones I'm going to do yet. So I definitely throw it out to you guys. Like, give me recommendations on which ones you want me to do, to attempt, and maybe to see if they will work or not. Now, I love the recommendations you guys gave already, but I would like to hear more from you guys. What would you guys like to see to wrap up Season 1 of the 10 Winners Challenge? Now, let's move on to something that a lot of people have been interested in. What if Adam Petty is still alive? I'm going to throw it out here right now. That is going to be my next project after the 10 Winners Challenge. Now, what's going to happen is once the 10 Winners Challenge videos are done, you will see a little bit of a drop in Inner 2003 content. At this time, I'm going to focus all the cars, all the winners, all the format changes, if Adam Petty is still alive. I'm going to focus on all of that first, because I want to make sure that I know exactly what's going on in everything before I release each of the parts. Now let's talk about the parts. Remember in the later Dale Earnhardt Universe videos, how I had one video and that took care of 5 years? That will not happen this time. So what I'm gonna do is, it is gonna be 18 parts. Now, relax for a minute. Yes, that sounds like a lot, but what I'm doing is I'm gonna do 1 year at a time. And so the reason why 18 is I'm gonna do 2000 all the way to today, which is 2017. So 18 videos. Now, as a change, I'm actually going to reveal and release 2017 first. Yeah, as weird as it sounds. Yeah, I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to go year after year backwards all the way to 2000. And so the final thing on that is I plan to release it in 6 video increments. So like I'll do 6, then I'm going to do a work on another project, then I'll do another 6, and then my goal is to finish the Adam Petty What If by the end of this year. So then the next project after that I hope to work on is, well, simply because it will probably be summer by the time I get around to it, is the 2017 Summer Showdown. I am bringing that back, and it's going to be fantastic. I haven't set yet what track I'm going to do yet. So I have heard some suggestions from the previous video, but if you guys do have any more suggestions, I would like to hear that as well. My only stipulation is that the track has got to be smaller than a mile, because the point of the Summer Showdown videos is supposed to be like a local dirt track Saturday night. Now, I mean, sure, it can be on paved too, but it has to be smaller than a mile. And so to help you guys out, 2015, I raced at Irwindale. 2016, I raced at Eldora. I will not go back to either of those races. So again, any comments will be beneficial and helpful to me figuring out what the heck I'm gonna do. And then finally, the last thing I kind of want to discuss to you guys, and this is going to be more open because I don't know when I'm going to make and show these. As you guys saw in the trailer, I had a bunch of random races go on in the trailer. Like, for example, I had the 1999 Winston Cup Series racing at Kansas 2014. And so you're thinking, Griff, what the heck are those? I had a little series in mind called Condensed Races, where I would show like 30, 40, 50 lap races in their full entirety, but they are of different weird random moments. And so like I thought to myself, especially with that 1999 video, like, what if we took the 1999 cars and we threw them onto a modern day track? Would the racing be different, or would it be like what it was way back in the day? And so I made about 5 of these. And so the problem with these is I don't know in my like timeline span when to work on those and make those. And so if you guys have any suggestions, and even, first of all, do you guys even want to see them? First of all. And then second of all, when do you think would be a good time for me to work on those? So again, any comments, suggestions would be fantastic. All right, so that is it. If you guys do have any questions about the future of Griffdawg, please leave a comment down below. I will either respond to them immediately in this video, or I could probably answer them in the next video. All right, so then diecast of the week. We are gonna go back in time with this one. It is the very first Bill Elliott diecast that I ever collected. Let's check it out. All right, so the diecast of the week. It is my first ever car I collected of Bill Elliott. It is 1997. McDonald's was a sponsor. And before you yell at me, yes, there is some paint chipped on this car, but that is simply because this car has been unboxed for almost 20 years now. And as a dumb little kid, I did ram this against the wall and make it crash and stuff like that. And I do apologize for that. Probably should have kept it in the box. So as expected, I did get this in 1997. I don't remember what store I got this from. But as you see, it is a very basic but a very beautiful car. Yeah, very, very beautiful car. It is red all the way around, just like the shirt I wore today. You got New Holland there as a sponsor. He was a sponsor in some other cars. But I don't know. Like, this is one of those cars where the simplicity works. Because you got the yellow here, and then the yellow that really offsets from the red. You got nothing on the back. I don't remember if that's real life or not. And this is a Ford Thunderbird, not a Ford Taurus. Because as you know, 97 on backward, it was the Ford Thunderbird, not a Taurus. See, very little here has Coca-Cola, because McDonald's and Coca-Cola had that wonderful relationship. This is a Hot Wheels car, by the way. I want to throw that in too. Yep, it is Hot Wheels. So very, very beautiful looking car. But yeah, so it's definitely, I do like the little yellow line down here. But one thing I do want to note here, look at all the contingencies here on the side. There were that many companies that would like to have their sponsor on a car. And that is unbelievable. I can't believe so much support was behind that. And yes, this is the first ever car with the number 94 that I ever purchased. Yeah, I don't know, there really isn't much more to say. Like, I do like the red. Now, sure, I mean, it's a little basic for my taste compared to, say, the McDonald's car that we have now, where it's all red and yellow. But the difference between this car and this car is that this one doesn't have the Credit One Bank and the aviation sponsor, Cessna. Whereas this one, it does have a couple, but McDonald's is the primary sponsor on the entire car. Yep, there you see, it is very, very hard to see, but it does say Hot Wheels right here where my thumb is. And there you have it, Bill Elliott's 1997 McDonald's Ford Thunderbird. Beautiful car, but I wish I wasn't dumb enough to ram this car against a wall. So that'll wrap things up here. If you like what I do, like button is right there for you. Are you new to Griffdawg? The subscribe button is right there for you as well. Make sure to follow each of my social media so you get immediate reaction to NASCAR news as well as updates to this YouTube channel. And if you got something to say, I do have the comments section open for you guys to talk and discuss NASCAR. And that's all I got. And now I say adieu, and I thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.